All right, welcome back everybody. It's Ben. I'm in the shop again. You guys are probably getting sick of the shop videos, but hey, it's that time of year. It's colder outside. I want to get some projects done. So I got some mail today. Let's go through what I got. All right, I got our order of B&G parts. So I went through my box and I figured out what we needed. Got a few more retaining clips. I got a new cover for one of them. It's kind of a pain when you're out and you don't have one of these clips to hook your wand through. So I always like to have those, and they're cheap. They're not that expensive. Got some wands, so we're going to replace the one that's broken. I've got another hose because I'm down to my last spare, and then I've got more tips. So that's the cool stuff I got in the mail. I also got this box. I've been waiting for this in my shop for a while, so I'm gonna, oh, there it is. It's a bench vise. Super handy for what I do. So I'm gonna hurry and open that, get it mounted on the bench, and then start working on a B&G. If you don't have a vise for your workbench, you ought to get one. This is a 5-inch. They can get pretty expensive, you know, 100 to 200 bucks for like a good 6-inch. This one was a cheaper one, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't use it all that much. I just remember as a kid, my dad's workbench had a green vise on the corner, and I use that thing all the time. So this one's gonna be nice because it'll hold stuff when I'm cranking on it, especially this one here, because I was having issues and I looked at this one last time with this trigger. These screws are not popping off very easy, so we're going to use the vise for that. But here's what we've got. We've got the wand is split. It got too cold for it, so it got split and it was empty. So I found that they will split or freeze easier when they're empty. There's still water in there, it's just not under pressure. So it will still crystallize and it still has force. This is an older one, so that's good. We're gonna rebuild this thing, see how bad the cable is, and get a new wand on it. So that's what we're doing today. Okay, first things first, we've got it disconnected from the hose. I've taken the filter out. We're going to get the trigger off, the two nuts, or the two parts that sandwich the trigger, the packing nut and washers and everything out of there, clean up this handle, take the tip off, the tip, the retaining collar, the end, undo all of that, undo the cable, slide the cable out. I get the new wand ready to go on and basically start putting it back together. So here's the problem I was having. Is this is an older type of screw to undo the trigger, and it's got a really wide flat head, so it allows for some room for error. When you're trying to hold this in your hand and use 2 screwdrivers, it's almost impossible. So it's going to be really nice to get this on the vise, clamp it down, and then I can get after those. All right, what I've got is 2 piles. This is my used parts and then my new ones. You do not have to replace these. I have several packs of these, so I'm just gonna make it look shiny. The spring, I would recommend having several of those. So here's the old spring compared to the new spring. You see how much taller it is. That concerns me just making sure it's got enough oomph. So we went with a new one of those. Definitely this piece, if you have new ones, that's important. This is the part that the seal goes into. So the bottom of the cable gets this piece and it seals into that. So these parts I've just scrubbed with a SOS pad. You can do even better and make them look shinier. Like I scrubbed this side, didn't really scrub the bottom. Brass will clean up. So most important parts, make sure this is clean, make sure your end's clean. I gotta go clean this. Because this is where your seal hits this and stops your flow of spray. So we'll clean this and then we'll start putting this together. And I didn't mention this cable. A lot of times when you pull them out of the wand shaft, they'll have gunk and stuff on them like this one did. It cleaned up fine. You want to inspect it, make sure that it's not cracked anywhere, and just make sure it's in good shape, not kinked or the threads buggered up. So this one's good. I just cleaned it. It's good to go back on. The wand is all done, ready to go. This sprayer, actually a different sprayer had this issue, but I swapped the pump cylinder so that we could have another one working. This pump cylinder does not build pressure the way it should. These tanks and systems are very simple. Your wand is your most complex part, so that's okay. We've got that taken care of. The next complex part is the pump. Both of them you can buy rebuild kits for, and really all that's left is this canister with a straw that goes down to the bottom to pick up product and water, and then the hose. The hose is dirty on this one, but we could clean that out. The tank can be cleaned. You can actually pop the plastic off if you take the hose off and really scrub the tank. So we're probably going to do that, but our main focus is going to be to rebuild this. So there's a few components here that are important. There's a seal in the bottom that will wear out. There's a seal inside the cylinder that makes the pump work. There's a spring up top, and then there's a seal underneath. It's black in there. You need to make sure that all those are good, and that inside it's getting a good pump seal when it slides up and down, because this piece here does not move. It stays in the canister. What moves is the pump inside the cylinder. So there's a piece coming up and down, and it's creating pressure and letting air come out around this seal to pressurize the tank. So what's happening on this one is it's probably not got a good seal inside, and as it's sliding up and down the drum, it's allowing air to pass by it, so it's leaking. So we're gonna get this cleaned up. First thing I'm gonna do is take it apart, scrub everything, scrub the tank, get everything clean, and then I'll start rebuilding it. So let's take a look real quick at the rebuild kit that you can get. Several parts in here. So I'm going to separate them by pump parts, and then sprayer parts. So this looks familiar because we just used one. These are actually seals for the hose. Here's the packing nuts and the rubber seal for the end, and the other seal to rebuild the wand. So these are wand parts that you should be replacing every time. And since we're just doing the pump, I'm going to put these back in a bag and save them for when I do my next wand. This is a little bit of grease you'll see where we use that. But these are the parts for the pump portion. So there's, like I said, this black seal goes up here. This is what slides in and out inside to create pressure, and it's just plastic. So these do wear out. And then this is the retaining piece for that holds it in place. The little spring that goes on top here. This is a new seal for the bottom. And then these are for the hose. So it's pretty simple. But let's go get this one clean and then we'll start rebuilding it. Okay, we're going to take this apart. All I've done is pop this seal out from underneath the lip. Sometimes it sticks in there pretty good. But if you pop that out, then you can separate the cylinder from pump portion. You'll see right here it's broken. This is the cylinder that goes in and builds pressure, and then it blows the air out of the end. The problem with this one is it's cracked. This plastic piece is broken, and so it's not able to build pressure, and that piece is completely wore out. In theory, we could just replace this and call it good, and it would probably work. But while we're in here, we're going to clean it, get it in better shape so it'll last longer. All it is taking that nut off. This one is there just to put a wrench on to hold it. You unscrew that, take the retainer off this thing, and then the plastic will come off, and there's just a washer there. I'm just going to go ahead and clean all of this, and then you see on top is a spring. Sits right down in there. That's to, when we push this piece in, we can twist it and it'll hold it up. Otherwise, if the spring's not there, it'll just pop back out. So the spring's important, but not, necessary for pumping. But we're gonna get this cleaned up, get it worked on. This seal here might be okay, but since it's loose on there, I'm just gonna replace it. So we pull that out. This seal in the end just pops out. You'll see here's the new one, so it just has a little nub there that pops in. So as you're pumping down the cylinder, it's pushing air through these 4 holes around that seal into the tank, and then that's what builds your pressure. Now take a look at this. It's got some discoloration, some nastiness. We're gonna go clean it, and hopefully you'll be happy with the results. I got done cleaning. Here's what we've got. I found an issue with the hose. They have these springs that go around them to hold them so they don't kink, and that had gotten crushed on the old one. I could probably fix it, but for now I'm just going to put a new hose on it. I've got my parts here ready to go for the pump, and then here's the cylinder cleaned up. I probably could have done a little bit more to it, but the main surface you need to make sure is clean is this, and then the outside edge. So you could scrub on a little bit more to get this discoloration off. I just was running out of SOS pads. This is the old seal. Get rid of that. There's the new one. Okay. This is the old spring. Getting rid of that. All right. Now we've got our new parts. I'm missing my hose piece. Maybe this one comes with one. Oh, it does. So the new hose comes with that plastic piece. I just need to put the one on for this. So that's good. Cleaned up these parts. Made sure the inside of this is clean, especially where the surface is that mates with this. Cleaned up this shaft. Made sure that it's ready to accept grease. And then that piece. So we're ready to put it together. Okay, so here's the tank cover. I popped it off and cleaned it. It has these little kind of clips that once you set it on there, it kind of snaps down once you get it lined up. That's a two-handed thing. So we'll put it on, and then it kind of snaps into place on the edge. This one's a little bit wore out, but it has the D-ring on it, so I'm going to keep using it. So the tank is clean and ready. We have to prep the hose because it doesn't have one of these ends. So if you order a hose, it's not going to come with the connector piece that connects to your wand. So we need to put that on. And in order to put that on, we need to put this piece in it. That's that little seal. And it goes the side with the nut built into it towards the hose, and then this goes to the tank. So we'll tighten this down, connect it to the tank, and that'll be ready. Okay, let's start putting the pump together. First we need to, so this piece here is the one that takes the spring. The spring sits right there. And then this, the nut stays to the bottom, just the threads go to the top. And then those thread onto the handle. So I'm going to tighten that. Into the handle. Okay. Now you can take this and lock it into place. Next thing that's going to happen, this flat washer goes on. The new plastic seal goes in, and then this retainer, which has a lock washer and the nut that we took off. And even though it's tight, the seal is able to move around for the cylinder properly. Okay, so that's almost ready. Next thing to do is to pop this seal in to the bottom of this, and they are stubborn. You want to make sure that it's completely seated. Okay, perfect. Now they give you this little bit of grease because you want to connect or seal this plastic piece into the cylinder. So the grease is for this plastic piece. We're just going to run it around. If you want to, you can put the excess in here. Okay, so then this does not want to go in at first, but you force it in there and it'll go. And that means that it's getting a good seal. And then lastly, this is going to go around this piece and slide all the way down. And then what we can do, set it in our can. Crank it down. And that should put that seal up in the threads. then it should stay. So now the seal is up in there where it belongs. This one's in. We're ready to test it. Okay. Okay, moment of truth. Will she spray? Oh yeah. Good even spray. Okay, I realized in editing that I didn't film an outro or any ending of any sort for this, so that's a B&G pump. I know I didn't show a lot of the trigger, but you can look back at the other B&G video to see that. So that will complete a rebuild on a full 1 gallon B&G sprayer. They're great sprayers. We have several of them, obviously 1 or 2 for every technician. So that's, 30 of them that we've got in the fleet. And the best thing to do is to keep them clean. That's the only advice I can give everybody. The cleaner they are, the better they work. Obviously, if you step on them or neglect them, they're gonna not last as long. But that's it for today. So that's a B&G pump. If there's something that you want us to fix or show you how to work on, drop a comment below on what you'd like to see us work on or fix, and we'll see if we've got one that needs to be repaired. Likely we might, and we'll show you how it's done, or at least try. This is just a suggestion. It's not the manufacturer's recommended way of rebuilding or building B&Gs. But anyway, if you see something you need, let us know. We'll see what we can do to help. So other than that, have a good day. We'll catch you guys on the next one.